السلام عليكم.
نسك وتوكلنا وهي مصممة لتكون سهلة.
وفيما يخص مشاريع الأنسنة وتحسين التجربة كذلك طورت المنطقة المحيطة بالمشعر الحرام بتدشين مشروع مسار المشعر الحرام ليكون ملائم للمشي والتنقل بيسر وسهولة. كما تم تجهيز أكبر محطة تبريد في العالم لتنقية الهواء في المسجد الحرام لتلطيف الأجواء وتبريدها على حجاج بيت الله الحرام.
Given the fact that they're also going to be walking and they're going to be exerting themselves, walking many miles during the days of Hajj, they're going to be exposed to a lot of physiological stress. And what can happen when the body is exposed to high levels of heat is that it can struggle to function. And our bodies are designed to operate in a certain temperature range. And our body does does a really great job in trying to keep that temperature range in check by mainly sweating. What can happen when it's very humid, so there's too much moisture in the air, is that the ability to sweat effectively is hindered. So you're not able to cool down as effectively as you would. When that mix of high temperatures and high humidity come in, the risk of developing heat stroke or heat strain is fairly significant. And it can be very difficult to differentiate that with just general symptoms of being a bit tired and a bit exhausted. The milder symptoms that you get can be things like dizziness and feeling a bit lethargic, and it can kind of range to having loss of consciousness, seizures, and being incredibly difficult to very becoming very difficult to wake up. There are shaded areas available, but these will be variable depending on where you are, not only in the ritual, but also where you're staying as well. And some of these will be ventilated with air conditioning, others will just be purely fans, and others will be not shaded at all. So these are all things that you need to sort of bear in mind. The authorities do what they can, and often when pilgrims are moving during the Hajj rituals, actually they have got people who are sort of spraying the crowd with cold water. There are fans blowing as well. Often people will take umbrellas with them for shade. Sometimes they'll be provided by the Hajj operators as well. And there's lots of water available as well for people to have cold water as well in ice buckets, which pilgrims should make sure that they have plenty of water and they hydrate frequently as well. Because there are so many people there from all over the world, people do get sick. And they get sick with very common conditions like stomach bugs and flu and coughs and colds and things like that. And it can be difficult for people to know what is something that is trivial and what is something that is potentially something more worrying that is emerging. And this doesn't just apply to heat stroke, it also applies to other conditions as well. We're not used to being in such hot climates and actually physically exerting ourselves. Usually we're sort of sitting in a nice hotel or on a beach and enjoying it. We're not having to walk several miles in footwear that is, that is a specific type of footwear that people undergoing Hajj have to take. You can't wear trainers. The men don't wear trainers for this, for example, and a certain garment that you have to wear as well for that too. And not only that, you're not staying in a nice fancy hotel for many of these days. You're staying in these sorts of environments, which can make it difficult to sleep. We know how difficult sleep deprivation can make any journey for anyone. So all of these things add up, and because this is meant to be a time where you're trying to be really spiritual, trying to be really focused, little things start annoying you about people snoring or what people are doing, and that can be quite a difficult thing to deal with emotionally and mentally as well when you know you're meant to be at your very best. But that therein is the reward. It's the struggle.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download Metro TV Extend sekarang.